Open Sesame, Arch Boy Chosen, man. Like, subscribe, enjoy the reaction. The most funniest and honest reactor out of here. We got a part 2 to the UK drill London's rappers, dangerous rappers. Let's continue, man.
Not really beef if he never gets touched, and that he vows to get his ops, whilst others would reply and claim that Suspect and his gang have actually been touched. Clearly as a teenager, Suspect had gotten himself deeply invested in the gang lifestyle, not just physically as a member, but mentally, and ultimately he would end up surrounded by fellow gang members with the same mindset and background as him. So let's take a closer look at the gang and some of the members who would run the streets with a young Suspect.
That's crazy. I didn't know him and Cheeks.
Before we go any further, I've just got a quick favour to ask you. If you're enjoying this video and my channel in general, please consider subscribing to my Patreon to watch the...
Yeah, shout out, bro. 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 All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Over the years, Suspect would build a network of young gang affiliates that he would run with in the streets of Camden. Part of this lifestyle was drug dealing, or trapping, as it's more commonly referred to in music. Suspect and his friends were deeply involved in the drug trade, and they didn't care who knew it. In fact, one infamous video circulates depicting Suspect and his friends in a trap house making junkies dance for their amusement. As the story...
Damn. I ain't gonna lie. They be a lot of UK drill rap. They be like, I'll put that crack in my crack. Listen, I ain't gonna hold you. That is an awful pitch to recruit me. Okay? Like, I'm throwing in the towel. Wait, we gotta shove the drugs in our butts? And we not even in jail? Nah, I'm good, bro. I'm cool, bro. We gotta work on our career fair. Okay? If this was at a career fair, I promise I'm not going to that booth. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we gotta, you know what I mean? Everybody gotta throw in some type of special, like, that's the perks. Like, that's the that's the good part. Like, y'all just skipped over the girls and we're gonna be getting money. Nah, you gotta just put it all in your crack. You got a butt tooth fairy is nasty work, man. I'm like, man, let's first of all, pause. Yeah, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, me personally, I'm cool being a civilian. Like, they would have got me. I'd have been like, yeah, I gotta figure something else out. Second of all, I don't know this work at the job fair. I don't know if this work at the job fair. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. It might be work at the job fair. Yeah, I'd probably be like, man, wait, that's what we can do? I might have to go work at that Megadeth restaurant, man, brother. I might have to go work, man.
Story goes, Active Gang, the most recent and famous incarnation of the Camden gang set that Suspect claimed, was created around 2017 by local youths of predominantly Somalian backgrounds. The founding members came from around Agar Grove Road, not more than half a mile from Camden Town's most popular tourist attractions. The members came from the Agar Grove estate and the nearby Maiden Lane, Broadfield Lane, and St. Pancras Way estates. Most had previously repped the older Camden sets like Centric Gang, Cracktown, or CT1, much like Suspect. However, Suspect was not one of the original members in Active Gang, and he seemingly never actually lived around the Agar Grove estate. Or perhaps that's just how people see it, due to the fact that his foster family was actually based in Tottenham, but Suspect himself would go on the run wherever he wanted in Camden as a teenager. Now, Active Gang is commonly referred to with the initials AGB, with the full name, according to the fans, supposedly being the Active Gang Boys, Active Gang Bandits, or Active Gang Bloods. However, Suspect in the song Golden Rain seems to insinuate that the name could also be Active Gang Bloodhounds. But regardless, there's a lot of names and faces that are going to be relevant when it comes to discussing Suspect's side of the war in Camden. One important name in the history of Camden gang beef is Mitch. He's often considered to be the founding father of the street crew that would eventually...
Wait, Flames, you said your area used to be called Shanktown on the... Bro, that's crazy. Shanktown is nasty work. Shanktown? Are you sponsored by Gordon Ramsay? Bro, listen, you wild. Shanktown is crazy. Like, I would never... I don't even know. That sounds like a... It's like a name of a town off of Scooby-Doo, nigga. Welcome to Shanktown. How may we help you? We have a mystery for you to solve. Yeah, I am okay. You got it. Somebody call Scream. Ghostface.
Eventually go by the name Active Gang, with some claiming that Active Gang was actually started in his honor after he passed away. Then there's his cousin, S45. You also have AK, and then there's SY, aka Stain, Striker, Hitman, and his brother Blitz, Broad Day, aka Broad Day Assassin or BA, S-Wavy, AR, aka...
Oh, Broad Day is a fire rap, right?
Armed Response, who interestingly, also like Suspect, went missing as a teenager in 2014. There's Reeks and also Too Smoky. Now, Active Gang members from Agar Grove would also link up with other sets from nearby neighborhoods, building alliances against their common enemies. Another street crew from the area that they're allied with is FSG, or Finesse, Stack, and Grind, from the Denton and Ferdinand estates in the Chalk Farm neighborhood, with prominent members like T-Scam, who has made a name for himself as a rapper in recent years, as well as having an extensive connection to street activity. Another area that's connected with Active Gang crew is NRB, or the North Road Bandits, from the York Way estate and Corporation Street, including members like Yevs and ML. And of course the historic crew with origins from the Cracktown set CT1 hailing from the Kernook, Three Fields, and Bayham Place estates, with members like Traps and Alert. The alliance between these gangs will be known as 71st.
Okay, so CT1 is different from C1 and CB in them.
On the N7 and NW1 postcodes that these areas are located in. However, possibly due to the massive fame that Active Gang achieved in the UK drill music scene, many of the members from these affiliated gangs have been primarily repping AG or Active Gang, leaving gangs like CT1 to be referred to less in favour of Active Gang or more broadly 71st. But of course, there's no such thing as a gang without ops. So now, let's take a closer look at the other side of the coin and understand the group of rivals that these young men have been in a years-long war with.
Wix is...
T-Scan shaking my head. Not a huge T-Scan fan. I love his voice, the Warren Camden.
Now, before I go any further, I just want to speak on the topic of postcode wars. A postcode, or as Americans might call it, a zip code, is the postage number corresponding to a specific area. In London, the idea of gangs warring over Perth, specifically which postcode they're from, is very misunderstood. To many uneducated on gang conflicts, they seem to believe that these groups are quite literally warring over territory based on arbitrary numbers at the end of their mail, with many holier-than-thou folks often arguing in the comments just how stupid it is for these young guys to go to war over areas and buildings that they don't even own. One particularly funny TikTok actually pokes fun at this concept.
Yo fam, I've just met you and have no reason to dislike you. I too have just met you and have no reason to dislike you. With that being said, where are you located geographically in London? For me, I'm from E9. E9? That is a combination of a letter and number that does not correlate with mine. Unfortunately, this means that I either have to kill or rob you now. That is a reasonable response to finding out my geographical location within London. I too will join you in this pillaging of your life or items.
Now, that's quite jokes, but it's important to me to explain that these gang wars in London are much deeper than the number at the end of a gang member's mail. While postcodes have become a prominent identifier in London gang wars, these beasts are historical feuds where blood has been spilled between friends, family, or in some cases races over years and decades. And it's realistically very difficult to explain exactly why or to stop two rival groups that hate each other and want to war to the death. It's not just
outside looking in from, because everybody got gang wars, gangs everywhere. Also, they call it postcode wars as well, I believe. It's your neighborhood and your people. Some may have happened to another group of people from a different neighborhood, even if y'all are close. But if something happens to one, now it's we all on this side are against everybody over there because I just live over there. But a lot of times, especially, we've all seen gangster movies, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's kind of watched The Wire. We've heard stories and documentaries of the 80s, especially during the crack era. A lot of, back then, at least, especially in the 80s and 90s, a lot of it was fueled from drug territory too. Like, having that block would be more money incentive rather than just purely violence. Whereas nowadays, it does seem, even the early 2000s, allegedly, a lot of stuff now is more just somebody lost their life just because it was already like some problems. But it doesn't come from a money situation. Whereas I believe back in the day, at least in America, a lot of feuds, especially in the 80s when crack era blossomed crazy, feuds were because of drug territory, because that's money. Like that block, like that's money. That's money over there. That's money over there. That's money over there. So it is more money based, but And in the end, everyone has a good point. I mean, it is, if you think about it, you don't even own that block. You just, this is so-and-so set. We over here with it. Everybody come from over here. It really don't be, what does that mean at the end of the day? Nothing. But if you hear somebody from the other side, you're like, I remember y'all the ones that did X, Y, Z to your homeboy, your relative or something. Like, man, I can't wait to catch you, boy. That's how it is. Because somebody that's over there is obviously affiliated with whoever because you grew up over there. Guilty by association, on accident. It's tough.
Similar to historical clashes between nations, because when blood has been spilled, sometimes a war is simply impossible to stop. As it often happens, gang alliances are often based on common enemies, and in the case of 71st, their enemy is called 51st, which is also an alliance between multiple gangs that they're at war with. This includes QC from Queen's Crescent and the West Kentish Town estates, as well as Peckwater from the Peckwater estates and the surrounding area in Kentish Town, which are both in the NW5 postcode. And then there's Cumbo from around Cumberland Market and the Regent's Park estate in the NW1 postcode. It's actually been said that the Peckwater block wasn't home to a gang until around 2014-2015 when teens from nearby areas begun to claim it as their territory without actually living there, with one commenter online suggesting that the gang members who claimed the area actually live nearby or in the surrounding streets. Now, prominent members associated with the 51st postcode include C-Miz from the original Queen's Crescent set, or OQC. And then there's Chinks, originally from Cumbo, who was incarcerated for the majority of most of the violent clashes in this story. But upon his release, he would refer to his crew as one side rather than identifying under 51st, an alliance which apparently formed whilst he was still in prison. Then you have Culprit, also hailing from Cumbo, and another member allied to Peckwater, or the Waters, and a prominent rapper in his own right is Gutter, who has apparently gone by other names over the years. Other people involved go by the name of Action, aka Rex, Selly, aka Cell, or C2, affiliated with the Peck.
That nigga's name is Selly? Nah, that's a crazy name. What is it? Why is it? He dream about being in a cell? Why is this nigga named Selly? Nah, nah, that's crazy. This nigga's name is Selly? Nah. This nigga's no place like home is a jail cell? That's crazy. Somebody called Dorothy. That's nasty work. His nickname is Selly. Leave him alone, man. You know, you know where he's been. There's nigga. Don't even put nothing else on your resume, brother. I know exactly where you've been. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Let's continue.
Peckwater estate, but he would actually seemingly distance himself from the streets for a period, having ended up having a successful career as a model. There's also Lanks from Peckwater, Gxng from QC, Gambino, Frosty, Stings, Flips from Peckwater, JJ, Drills from QC, Lebs, Wanda, Creeps, Cons, RO, Goose, and R1. Now, that's not every single person from every single gang in Camden. That would be nearly impossible.
I wanted to say shout out Selly, man. Changes his life around, man.
To find out, even if people do think I'm the FBI. But what it is really is a list of people who have been mentioned prominently in songs, the news, or in the local community, with their names and identities being made public either by members themselves who have dissed each other by name publicly, or by the authorities who unmask individuals when they accuse them or charge them with a specific crime, of which we're about to find out there are many. So now you know the history and the people involved, let's dive in and begin to unravel the origins of this bitter and years-long.
Yeah, because y'all said Chinks used to know, bro. Used to know suspect. So, but that's how it always is, man. I'm telling you, people play sports together, man. It's crazy. It's kind of sad.
It's often the case in some of the most vicious gang wars that many of the members on each side actually started out as childhood friends. The war in Camden is no exception. And in this case, some of these guys who ended up wanting to kill each other actually started life playing together on the playground. This is something that Suspect actually refers to in very menacing terms in lyrics to his song Dugout, where he raps, "It's crazy how everything played out, because the parks and streets he used to run around and play with his friends in are now the same places that he would be plunging a knife into the chest of one of those friends." And saying that the same streets that he would knock and ask his friends to come and play out on ended up being the same place where he would be hunting for those friends turned ops and asking them to come out so that he could kill them. It's a sad state of affairs, and the self-awareness that Suspect had about these childhood friendships turned deadly beefs is chilling. Other posts on Reddit circulate back.
Nah, the way bro read that, the way Traveler Ross read that was like, it was the most English elegant thing you could say. That's crazy, bro. Nah, that's sad, bro. Like that's like some nigga Back to the Future like stuff. Like that's some real life anime movie stuff for real. Like bro chinking you up and then it's like a flashback to like them as kids playing back. Like damn. But I'm telling y'all, that's really like it's crazy. Like I had a homie that really we was cool in high school, man. We played on a basketball team together freshman year. He was cool. I think, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I think bro took somebody for me, but he was cool people, bro. We was always chill, cool as hell together. It was either him or another guy. Um, but I graduated and I found out this year, man, he died, I believe, gangbanging. Um, he was hella cool to me, always chill, other than allegedly, but that was after I transferred and stuff. But we always joked, always had a good time, man. So it's just crazy because you think back like, damn, well, he really was on that. Like, why was he on that? You just think back like, damn, but I knew, bro. Like, it was cool, and we was playing basketball, and we was sports together, and I remember, bro, and it's just like, damn, man, we was all in the same leagues. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy. Like, we all competed against each other. Like, that was the homie. Like, you might have spent the night at bro house. You know what I'm saying? Like, mama maybe cooked you some food. But that's how it is, especially for most black kids. I'm assuming even in the UK, even though they might have other Somalian or African or Haitian or Jamaican or things of that nature. A lot of males play sports, so we all gonna know each other or know of each other, especially if you what I'm saying, come from a different specific demographic. So it's just kind of sad, bro. But that's the reality of it. Just not even just for the UK, but all around because it's your options people you knew. You had to know them. Y'all went to schools together. Your schools played sports against each other. Yeah, all of that. You know what I'm saying? So you get it. So as far as you get it, it's like you did all that stuff together. Like you gonna know, bro.
Up by later lyrics, suggesting that many of the people from Agar Grove, Peckwater, and Cumbo all went to the same schools and started life as friends. Chinks would even show love to Suspect and tweeting about wanting to free him all the way back in 2015. However, as has happened many times before in these stories, from Chicago to Camden, once the youngsters from impoverished backgrounds get older and fall more heavily into the gang lifestyle, former friendships slowly break down until something happens that forces everybody to choose their side for good. Moreover, many of these youngsters had become used to the violence from a young age. For example, Mitch and S45 from AGB would experience the loss of their cousin Lefty, real name Mohammed Abdullahi, as early as 2013 when he was brutally stabbed to death. The three men responsible for the killing later alleged that they thought Abdullahi had himself shot at one of their homes only hours earlier or told someone the location of the house, and they were apparently looking for revenge. In the hours following the tragedy, Abdullahi's father had appealed to young people in the area not to retaliate, an act which would later be praised by Camden's Somali community. During a speech he gave while receiving a peace award for his actions, the father would raise alarm about the young people in the area turning to the violent street life. But unfortunately, his warnings fell on deaf ears, and in the years that followed, the violence on the streets of Camden would only intensify. In 2015, Mitch would post on his Twitter that he had been out his mind since his cousin Lefty was killed. And then, the following year in 2016, the mother of Dean Winston, one of Lefty's killers, and the person whose house had been shot up before the killing, would give an interview where she revealed that the gang who had been responsible for shooting their house was still harassing and threatening her family. According to one poster on Reddit, who claims to have lived in Camden at the time, knowing the people involved, the murder of Lefty loosely connects all the way to the present-day events in the modern-day Camden gang war. According to this story, Lefty's murder stemmed from a beef between young and old members from around the Peckwater estate, with both Lefty and Dean Winston having indeed lived in the Kentish Town neighborhood of Camden. Lefty's house was very close to where the Peckwater estate is located, and Lefty was also allegedly not only a cousin of Mitch and S45, but also a Peckwater OG called Wage, who was supposedly a big brother of Mitch and a former member of a gang called TMS, or the Money Squad, which we discussed earlier when looking at the early history of Camden gangs. TMS consisted of mostly Somali youths from Camden in the late 2000s and early 2010s, with one of the latest mentions of TMS being from a blog post in 2011. As suggested by some experts on the topic on Reddit, it's possible that eventually Mitch and other members of AGB, who are predominantly of Somalian background, ended up inheriting some of the existing beefs from older gang members that they were close to, and similar stories continue to circulate on Reddit in the past few years. However, it also seems that during the mid-2010s, gangs in Camden stayed relatively united. Many of the youngsters who would later start beefing were allegedly together in this music video, although it's difficult to confirm them due to many of them wearing masks. However, around 2016, a number of unfortunate events would transpire in the streets, causing friction between these young men. According to one
So it seems I gotta pause right here. It seems with the murder of Lefty, I don't know if he did what they think he did because they said they assumed that bro was the one that sent the hit or dropped the drop. But just like with anything, everybody's friends with somebody. Everybody is somebody's baby. Everybody is someone's homie, OG, close friend. And it seems that this dude, Lefty, he was a real person. And I mean real person because in the streets he had a lot of people that rocked with him heavy. You know what I'm saying? He's a real OG. So you kill OG, it's like even though the father is saying don't, that's your homie, that's your dude, and what's the you get people that start asking, well, if an OG can get killed, well, what are we talking about? That's there's a lot that comes with that. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like if an OG from a quote unquote gang gets killed, what are they then it's like, well, what the hell is the point of being in the gang? We supposed to be camaraderie, we supposed to be boys, we supposed to be this, and he lost his life, and and, and the people that did, they just over there, they lost 3 kids, but hey man, what we gonna do? What we gonna do is now it turns into just a not even just an emotional thing, and now it turns into a principle thing, a respect thing. Why would somebody even be wary of doing something to us? We supposed to be strong, united, and then somebody get hit, and now it's, hey man, let the police handle it. It looks kind of like, well, what the hell is the point? It makes yo quote unquote gang look weak. Just in simple terms, it does. But that's why it's so terrible when you take someone's life, because everybody's somebody. Somebody to somebody, man. So now you setting off a whole string of events, and then if they retaliate, that's setting off a whole another string of events because everybody's somebody. That's why these type of moments are sad. They don't even know if that was the guy. We don't even know if Lefty even did what the killers thought he did. We have no idea. So they could have really got the wrong dude. And although Lefty's parents is saying peace, it's like, man, I ain't never trying to hear that, man. Like all that peaceful stuff. And what you gonna tell a young kid peaceful? And you know what everybody gonna say, well, what the hell is the point of being in a game? Like, what are we doing? And I don't think in that day and age when bro lost his life, they were making a crazy amount of money like the 80s and 90s of America, where the regular drug dealer was making hundreds of thousands of dollars. The regular drug dealer was making hundreds of thousands, could buy it under the brand new car like it was nothing. And damn, like the regular dude. And $100,000 in the 80s, I don't even want to know what that is in this day and age. So like, it's not even a money thing of like, well, you know, business is gonna be looking bad, bro, if we do this. It's nothing. It's just let's just get active. No pun intended. So it's sad, man. It's really sad. This type of stuff is sad, man. But all it takes is one, and then everything becomes real principle. Because then a lot of gangs were formed for people to be protected and to feel unity and feel a quote unquote brotherhood. You lose somebody, lose their life, and now it's just, hey man, he's gone. It is what it is. Like, what you mean? It is what it is. Especially one with all those connections. Let's continue. But it seems that like all the gangs were united at first. Then the circle of hatred starts. Yeah. And then like he said, shout out Flameser. Like I said, all the gangs is united, right? But that's the youth. Because the youth, we all grew up together. So it's like, nah, it's not that deep. So that's how the next generation could like help. But if something bad happened between the youth, it's like, oh, it's up. There it is.
That during the mid-2010s, gangs in Camden stayed relatively united. Many of the youngsters who would later start beefing were allegedly together in this music video, although it's difficult to confirm them due to many of them wearing masks. However, around 2016, a number of unfortunate events would transpire in the streets, causing friction between these young men. According to one rumor on Reddit, things started after a member from Active Gang stole a watch from another man called Merce Dikanda from Peckwater. In fact, that man whose watch was stolen, Merce, would later be convicted for his involvement in another knife murder incident in Camden, where a male model killed another male model, Harry Uzoka, over a girl, following a knife fight in broad daylight that was captured on CCTV video.
Jesus.
However, as always with Reddit rumors, many people firmly deny that the watch incident even happened or that it had any significant effect on the beef. Ultimately, many of these early stories explaining the origins of this war are nothing more than rumors that seem impossible to verify. But
the nigga kissed on over a girl. That nigga said he stole a watch from her. But that's how it be though. Like, bro, that's how it, bro. I'm telling you, bro, that's really how it be, bro. I told y'all, like, the dude that died, we was cool, we was homies, like, bro, we was on the basketball team together. He was the dude, like, I always joke with. We was always together because we were both pigs. But, you know, I knew my money was gone. And I was like, and I had just came back because I had transferred to school. I just came back and I was like, damn, was it him? And my other homie was like, bro, it's probably him. And I was like, nah, it couldn't be him, bro. Like, that probably be. But like, stuff like that, bro, like, really be happening. And then you just like, bro, why'd you steal from that nigga? Like, and now it's turned into a whole thing. Like, now I don't rock with bro. Bro stole from me. And then, you know what people gonna do? You're in the game. What people gonna do? Bro, you just gonna let bro steal something from you? Unless you have like an OG in your area, be like, bro, let that play out, bro. But even if you don't do nothing, it's like, I'm not gonna rock with them. Like, I'm cool off them. And then after you not cool off them, something else gonna happen. And it might not be the same dude, but somebody else in that group might do something. And it's like, yeah, I'm cool off, bro. Yeah, I'm cool off, bro, being around me. And then something else might happen. Now is you already went from y'all was close to y'all, all right, we gotta keep them distance, y'all do your thing. Something else happened now is, I mean, hey, I remember bro did this to me. Hey man, it could be man for real. And then boom, 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 it's up. And it's not even the dudes that all hung out together. It's like the extras that maybe wasn't as close, but they did something. You like, bro, why'd you steal from? Like, and then bro gonna tell you like, bro, why'd you do that? And then y'all, the main people that all hung out don't even hang out like that no more. So you really got to ride for your people that you hang out with the most, even though they was wrong. But you like, damn, bro, like, why'd you even do that, bro? Why'd you do that dumb shit? Oh, bro, he ain't my homie. All right, bro. All right, bro.
Whatever may have transpired around this time, as far as I could tell, it seems that suspect largely stayed on the fence in the brewing beef, and he would end up missing much of the events that transpired in the streets due to being in prison during these years. The exact timings of his incarceration seem shaky, but in May 2016, people were commenting on suspect's Facebook saying, "Free him." And based on the information from his later legal proceedings, he also has convictions from 2017 for assaulting a constable and violent disorder. And at some point in 2017, suspect would find himself behind bars again, this time not getting out until the following year. But while he would remain locked up, the beef was about to go to the next level, as over the course of 2017, a number of connected incidents would play out, escalating the violence in the streets and separating this group of former friends into opposing gangs that ended up in a full-blown war.
I'm still here.
Man, that nigga stayed in jail. Damn. That nigga go to sleep listening to Locked Up by Akon. Steady trying to find a motive. Why do what I do?
Going into 2017, the war in Camden would intensify, and violent acts would play out all over the city, leaving the authorities one step behind, constantly trying to get a grasp of the spiraling violence in their community. On May 5th, 2017, one of the first more well-documented major escalations in the war would take place. At around midnight, Camden police would receive numerous calls about shooting taking place near Camden Road train station, right at the heart of Camden's tourist district. After arriving at the scene, they failed to locate any suspects, but would soon receive a call from the University College Hospital in South Camden about two shooting victims who were behaving aggressively. One was a 16-year-old boy who initially refused treatment for his bullet wounds and was arrested for assaulting a police officer during the commotion at the hospital. The other, a 21-year-old man who had also sustained bullet wounds, would refuse treatment and attempt to leave the hospital upon finding out the police had been called. Both of them would be arrested on the spot, while a third teen, aged 17, would also be arrested in Camden town after a short foot chase by officers. Someone who was present at the incident said,
"I saw one unresponsive vehicle and then another one went screaming past me at 100 miles an hour and I knew something was up. There were officers everywhere with automatic weapons."
All three of the individuals were arrested on suspicion of GBH, or grievous bodily harm with intent. But as two of the suspects were juveniles, not much information was available about the incident other than what was on the news. And despite the UK having some of the most strict gun laws, it seemed that the most ruthless gang members in London were easily able to get their hands on lethal firearms, and they were willing to use them without a moment's hesitation. The next major incident would occur a few months later, this time on the home territory of Active Gang at the Lulworth House Tower at the heart of the Agar Grove estate. According to newspapers, on the 22nd of August, armed officers locked down the car park next to Lulworth Tower after reports of a shooting around 7 PM. Someone from the building would even catch a video of officers patrolling the car park after the attack. However, when they arrived there were reportedly no victims at the scene. But after an investigation, the police were able to locate the victim, who had in fact gotten shot but was still able to drive themselves to a hospital, despite bleeding profusely. The shooter also hit a white Mercedes that was parked nearby, leaving a mark of numerous shotgun pellets that peppered the back right wing. The UK drill internet sleuths did their investigations, later claiming that Gxng was actually the person responsible for the shooting. A witness who saw the aftermath of the incident stated,
I heard two loud bangs, screaming and a screeching of brakes.
Also stating,
I looked outside and saw a man had been shot in the head. He was alive, but bleeding like crazy. He then dived in a car with two other young lads, and they drove off. It looked like it got him near the eye or the ear. You could just see blood all down his chest.
Another resident,
Nigga, what? Nah, I ain't gonna lie. The way that nigga said YouTube, UK drill investigators, he got all. Nah, that's crazy. Nigga said, and allegedly they came to the conclusion of it was Chinks. What? What? That's crazy. I ain't going to. That's insane work. Listen, allegedly him. Y'all did some Law and Order. It was you. Nah, that's crazy. What? Another resident who was also alerted by two loud bangs. At first, he had first thought were fireworks, and I went to the window, saw the guy who'd been shot running towards me, and the car screeched off. Thinking they were going to shoot again. They're obviously not the best shot, and they could have gone anywhere.
stated that he first mistook the gunshots for fireworks and called the shooter a bad shot for lacking aim. A witness also told how people were often hanging around in the parking lot of the estate, whilst another witness said that it had actually become a
I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of wild. That's kind of wild. Oh, weak ass. That's kind of wild. That nigga sound like he was running Fortnite. Nigga was doing Call of Duty Warzone. Oh, weak ass nigga, man. This nigga ain't got no shot, man. Damn. You missed me, ho. Oh, sorry ass nigga, man. These niggas ain't got no shot. Yeah, tell the nigga can't even shoot, man. In the lab, bro. They try to get this nigga a Mamba mentality. You try to get a shooter Mamba mentality is crazy work, nigga. Yeah, that's crazy work. I ain't gonna let you. That's wild. That's what I'm trying to do. That was a sorry shot. What?
Dived in a car
You
with
didn't
two
have to
other
say
young
that.
lads, and they drove off. It looked like it got him near the
You didn't
eye
have
or
to say
the
that, bro.
ear. You could just see
That
blood all
nigga,
down his chest.
yo, you lucky that nigga not like Kanye or something. That would be like his intro. Like, yeah, this nigga said I was a sorry shot, so I came back and shot him. Nigga, what? Was that sorry? Yeah, that's wild. Yo, man, he tried to get somebody. Man, trying to be the great ESPN 30 for 30 documentary. Yeah, in high school, man, I knew this dude, man. He never said I was a good shot, man, and I worked hard, and I got 40 bodies to my name, all headshots. You know what I mean? What? Yo, GTA cosplay, you wild. Buy a
Another
scope for
resident
the next
stated that he first
buy a scope for the next time. Hey, sorry, I gotta buy a scope for the next time. That's crazy. That's
mistook the
wild.
gunshots for fireworks and called the shooter a bad shot for lacking aim. A witness
What?
also told how people were often hanging around in the parking lot of the estate, whilst another witness said that it had actually become a location for drug and gang activity fairly recently, adding that the layout of the car park made it a perfect location for that. The same witness also discussed how the police were known to regularly patrol the area, but there was little that they could do to stop people gathering there. Years later, in 2022, after being released from prison and becoming a prominent drill rapper, Gxng would allegedly reference the shooting in numerous songs. For example, on the track Usual Culprits, where he rapped that he jumps out spraying when he sees his ops, and that Blitz got shot, and that people thought it was him who did it, but that he doesn't speak on these matters. Also in the song Secrets Not Safe, Gxng would rap that he'd showed Suspect the same gun that had been used to shoot at Blitz, seemingly implying that Gxng and Suspect were still friendly at the time of this incident, with Gxng even claiming outright on the song Lock and Load that him and Suspect had hung out together immediately after the shooting. Once again, this paints a picture of these interconnected friendships between these warring gang members. However,
he said, "No, that one." I think I reacted to you. I think "Usual Culprits" is the first song I ever reacted to by Cheeks. He said, "I showed bro the." Nah, that's sick, bro. That's sick, bro. But that's the thing though. Like, I'm trying to tell you, that's the thing. Like, the main people that grew up together still be cool. So it seems like Suspect and Cheeks really was cool, like really cool homies. But it's like when they grew up, you obviously you might have different friend groups that you might be around more. Like, this was the first song he did. Secrets Not Safe was a crazy song. That was the first song he did. That was a crazy moment in Dress. I don't think I reacted to Secrets Not Safe. I reacted to Usual Culprits. But y'all, that's what I like, bro. It's like anybody went to college. Everybody can relate to this. Anybody went to college or even high school, right? You probably have if you play sports, you have a club team and you got your school team or your high school homies. Like, so your high school homies might be different from your club team homies. And if you've ever been to college, you could say it's like your college homies versus your hometown homies, right? Because you in college, you probably gonna spend time with your college homies more than your hometown homies. So you could grow apart, even though y'all still locked in when y'all see each other. But your college homies is the one you around all the time. So even though something may happen with your college homies in your hometown, it's like, nah, that's my homie though. That's my like I really spent time with my that's my guy. But then it just the college homie might retaliate and do something to your homie. Now it's like, oh, bro, like I gotta choose the college homies because that's who I'm around 24/7. Like, I'm sorry, like y'all my dogs, but we gotta just separate. Like, that's really what it is.
soon things would turn deadly and the members involved would have no choice but to pick a side in the war. Only a few weeks later, on September the 4th, around noon, 20-year-old Mitch, real name Mohammed Adar Mohammed, from Agar Grove, was walking down Hampstead Road near the Mornington Crescent train station in Camden, when he would be confronted by Flips, real name Erica Calm, from the Peckwater estate. Flips apparently pulled an 8-inch kitchen knife from his waistband, and according to police, at this point Mitch backed away from Flips with his arms outstretched, and at this point Mitch was stabbed suddenly several times in the arm, neck, and back. After being stabbed, Mitch ran across Hampstead Road before collapsing in the street. These events all unfolded right in front of a plainclothes police officer who at this point began to chase Flips along Hampstead Road. Whilst running from the
Nah, bro, nah. That nigga did that in front of a police officer? Nah, y'all some different niggas, bro. Nah. I don't know what verse it was. I can't remember. I remember I was reacting to something and the nigga said we done him in front of the feds. And I was like, nigga, what? Y'all, I really was like, bro, there's no way you said that. We done him in front of the feds. Did you know I can see you? Like, are you dead ass? Like, nah, that's insane, bro. Didn't even wait for bro to leave. Like we gotta be strategic about it. And I said, nah, bro, it's seen him, it's up. It's up, bro. It's up, bro. What? Not even witnesses, like a cop witness? Nah, bro, you're wilding, bro. I think that was Rondo Montana that said that. We done him in front of the bro. It was somebody, and I was like, bro, there's no way you said that, bro. This is crazy. This is insane.
Police Flips threw the knife onto a nearby railway track, where the knife was later recovered, still covered in blood. After a short chase, Flips was finally detained and arrested for the homicide in nearby Harrington Street. And when asked why he ran, Flips bluntly said, "Because I had a knife and I was scared." Meanwhile, members of the public would desperately attempt to save Mitch's life, with one passerby holding a scarf to his neck before emergency services arrived. And a doctor from London's
Nigga said, "Yeah, man, I had a knife, but I was scared, bro. Why else would I run?" Nah, that's. Nigga said, "Do you know what I just did?" Bro, what? I had a knife, and obviously I'm scared. I gotta go.
air ambulance would perform emergency surgery at the scene in an attempt to stop the bleeding, but unfortunately, Mitch would succumb to his injuries and pass away. This was now the second young man lost to knife crime within his family, with his cousin Mohammed Abdullahi, aka Lefty, having been fatally stabbed in the heart in 2013. These two murders had taken place just a mile away from each other. During the trial, Flips would claim self-defense, arguing
Wait. Is Mitch suspect's family member too?
street. These events all unfolded right in front of a plainclothes police officer who at this point began to chase Flips along Hampstead Road.
Honestly,
Whilst running
the
from the
best
police,
policy.
Flips threw the knife onto a nearby railway track, where the knife was later recovered, still covered in blood. After a short chase, Flips was finally detained and arrested for the homicide in nearby Harrington Street. And when asked why he ran, Flips bluntly said, "Because I had a knife and I was scared." Meanwhile, members of the public would desperately attempt to save Mitch's life, with one passerby holding a scarf to his neck before emergency services arrived. And a doctor from London's air ambulance would perform emergency surgery at the scene in an attempt to stop the bleeding. But unfortunately, Mitch would succumb to his injuries and pass away. This was now the second young man lost to knife crime within his family, with his cousin Mohammed Abdullahi, aka Lefty, having been fatally stabbed in the heart in 20.
So wait, so Lefty and Mitch are both related to suspect.
These two murders had taken place just a mile away from each other. During the trial, Flips would claim self-defense, arguing that Mitch was rumored to have previously shot and injured two of Flips' friends. He would also describe how Mitch had behaved threateningly, acting like he was about to pull a weapon from his waistband, which prompted Flips to protect himself. Another 51st affiliate would take the stand, giving testimony that Mitch had shot him just days before the murder, but the judge didn't believe this, stating that it was clear that the witness came to court to lie for Flips. The jury was shown photos of the knife, as well as YouTube videos with lyrics referring to Mitch being got in broad daylight. And so, on
I know. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have. Yeah, you probably shouldn't have said. You probably shouldn't have bragged about it if you were supposed to be scared for your life. Yeah, that was. Yeah, I probably. I think the gang's suspect grew up on an orphanage, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so then, but I know that he's Somalian, so they must have been like his, that family stuff.
On December the 21st, 2018, Flips was found guilty of murder and 2 charges of carrying a knife in a public place, with one of those being an incident that took place 3 months earlier, and he was sentenced to a minimum of 17 years in jail. Fans would later find old tweets from Mitch, where he would talk about his positive hopes for the future. Ultimately, more blood had been shed in this ongoing gang war, and members were now picking their sides and planning retaliation, and no doubt, the authorities were anticipating more of this escalation. Soon after the murder of Mitch in October 2017, police in Camden were on high alert due to the increasing violence in the borough between what they described as drug gangs. And after yet another shooting, the police would then begin to show force in the community, being seen performing a so-called hard stop on a car carrying suspects in the Queen's Crescent neighbourhood, which would be caught on camera.
Open the door! Move the door! No. Keep your hands up! Open it, take it off! Wait. Keep your hands still, do not move your hands. Do not move your hands. Right, shut up!
However, despite the police attempts to show the community that they were taking gang activity seriously, unfortunately, as we'll see throughout this story, the authorities are always one step behind these warring gangs. And moving into 2018, the clashes between these groups would get even more deadly, with the police unable to protect the public from the wanton violence that had been unleashed onto the streets of Camden.
That is the sad part about police. They are, it's sad, man. In general, though, they're usually called after something has already happened. Like if the police are called, usually it's after something has happened, unless it's during a robbery or something, they call them and hopefully they can make it in time. But usually they're called or in action after something already took place. That's the sad part. That's why people do rely, like, community watch, neighborhood watch, right? To even at least call the police before something is about to happen, right? But everyone has rights, which I agree people should have rights. So it's like, well, you can't really do it until something bad already happens. It's kind of the sad reality of things. Yeah, it's just sad, man. It's sad. Let's continue.
I always say I've never met these queens, and then I get a DM.
It's like with anything, like, for instance, like security. Like, you don't know how valuable security is until something bad happens. And you're like, yeah, we need security. 3 murders in 3 days? What the hell?
Moving into 2018, the Camden streets were hot. Since the murder of Mitch, which followed back-to-back shootings, it's safe to say that the police were unable to get a grip on the violence. And in February, over the course of just a few days, 3 men would lose their lives in a series of loosely connected attacks. On the night between the 17th and the 18th of February 2018, a girl was holding her 16th birthday party at an Airbnb in Kensington, SW5 West London on Earls Court Road. The girl apparently wanted to invite around 50 people, including girls she went to school with and boys that she knew from social media. Some of these boys were from a Tottenham-based gang turned drill music collective called OFB, or the original Farm Boys, hailing from the Broadwater Farm Estate. OFB is famously the rap collective repped by popular drill rappers like Heady One, Abracadabra, and Band OK, real name Kamani Duggan, who is actually the son of Mark Duggan, whose killing by police in 2011 started major riots all over the UK, including Camden, which I mentioned at the start of this story. There were also allegedly boys from a gang called ZT, or Zero Tolerance, which hails from Hackney Fields, Blackstone, and Moorland Estate. You might be familiar with this group due to their inspiration for the Netflix show Top Boy, which takes place in Hackney, and also included a gang by the name of ZT, with the show's writer Ronan Bennett, who lives in Hackney, basing some of the characters and events from the show on real-life situations that happened in the area. Later on, the Old Bailey court would hold that the girl throwing the party had been particularly careful not to invite any boys from Camden, because apparently she was aware of the history between the boys from Hackney and the boys from Camden. But despite this, the address of the rented flat that was used for the party circulated online, and eventually Lewis Blackman, aka Dots, or Dotty, from the Peckwater estate would receive details of the event, making plans to gate crash the party with a group of around 10 other people from Camden.
I'm gonna say this. As a dude from Cali, it was kind of always wild because girls would post, they would post the flyers and be like, yo, keep the drama at home. We don't want no problems, no issues. But it's like, we all kids, though, in high school. Like, everybody want to have fun, bro. So it's not like she's the FBI. It's not the Pentagon trying to withhold information. It's easy to just get an address online, even though it's not her fault. Like, she just like, yo, let's just have a party. Let's just have fun, bro. And that's all it is, especially you young. Like, bro, I just want to have fun, bro. Like, we just gonna invite these people, and hopefully the other people don't show up. But if I'm the op, I'm like, well, context clues. I don't got to be Batman to figure out that the ops are probably gonna be there. So I just want to say, like, that was always something that some people thought was growing as an adult. Now it was kind of looking back. It's like, yeah, I remember when girls were like, yo, keep the drama at home. Like, don't come here with no drama. Like, dudes was gonna listen to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to this girl's credit, like, in the UK, it's like she tried. But at the end of the day, we all young and people just want to have fun. Like, if you're gonna have fun, it's hard to keep something secret. She not the Pentagon. You know what I'm saying? She not Iron Man and Avengers. So it's not that young lady's fault. But it was always interesting that this kind of happened in the US too. So.
At about 3 AM, Dotty came to the event armed with a large Rambo knife, and one of his friends had a BB gun. Dotty and his group would reportedly arrive to the event and cause havoc, entering the flat brandishing knives and bats, causing damage to the flat, with some partygoers fleeing over a back wall. One defendant, believed to be the rapper Boogie B from OFB, would claim in court that whilst at the party, Dots had grabbed him, snatched his phone and necklace, with the phone apparently being a joint birthday and Christmas present that his mother was still paying for him, and the chain being a crucifix handed to him by his father on the only occasion they had ever met. After robbing him, Dotty allegedly pinned Boogie against a wall by the scruff of his neck and slashed him in the arm. Boogie would claim that he intended to leave the area before hearing Dotty shout, "Come and get it, and I'll shiv you up," prompting him to turn around, with Boogie saying that at this point he lost control. However, the prosecution disputed this story, only accepting that Boogie was stabbed in the arm, but not accepting that he lost control. At this point, Boogie left the flat, and he would claim that he did not discuss the prior events with his friend.
It is interesting. I'm like wondering why he's saying this. I ain't gonna lie, that sounds like what happened in Top Boy. Literally, when in season 3, I believe, I'm not a huge fan, after the youngest of Top Boy, like, he went to the party and then got his chain snatched. But they say, yo, come get it. And then he lost control. They was like, bro, lost control. But they was like, hey, nigga, ain't lose no control. But I'm like, why would he say that he got robbed? Like, usually people don't admit that they got robbed. Like, usually kind of cap, like, hey, man, I ain't get robbed. But Hey, give it up. I'm team give it up, bro. It's up, bro. You lost. He got you. It's up, bro. You lost, bro. Just give it to him. Facts.
Friends, and suggesting that he did not ask them to aid him in what he was about to do. But he claims that he heard someone shout, "They went that way," and that at this point, 2 other guests who were standing outside the flat had pulled out knives. Boogie grabbed one, telling the court, "I knew I was going onto Logan Place and that they had weapons and I had nothing to defend myself with at all," adding, "I was angry and I was upset, but it was more about getting my things back, especially my chain. My dad gave it to me after I met him for the first time." A resident in a nearby home had heard that one member of the group shouted, "I don't care, let's chase him down." Boogie began to run after Dottie, with 19 others following him. 12 of them were armed with knives, and 1 was armed with a stick. Dottie would quickly fall behind his friends, ducking behind a car and jumping out, facing the group of attackers. This moment would actually be captured by a nearby CCTV camera, showing the frightening moment when Dots realized he was far outnumbered. He would then turn off and begin to run after a very short standoff. But unfortunately, in a moment that was caught by yet another CCTV camera, the group would soon catch up to Dottie, with Boogie B delivering the first blow, swinging his knife in an arching motion right into Dottie's back. After this blow, Boogie would stop running, but his friends would continue to chase Dottie. Dottie managed to make it another 20 or so paces before falling to the ground on his front. Boogie moved in and delivered the final wound to Dottie, claiming this is when he recovered his stolen goods. Dottie would end up dying as a result of the 2 wounds to his chest. Reports claim that a friend of Dottie ran back towards him as he lay dying, and he was seen to point the BB gun at Boogie and the other OFB members. Following the attack, the group apparently were calm and carefree, walking back to the party house after the murder in what was described as a celebratory mood, and apparently those members were laughing and joking to themselves, with one teen apparently jumping around and waving his feet. The group apparently returned to the party with a triumphant swagger and were visibly excited. Police would discover Dottie at around 3:20 AM after they were called to Logan Place over reports of a large number of vehicles in the area. Officers gave first aid to Dottie, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. After the murder, Boogie would turn up to North Middlesex Hospital to seek treatment for the stab wound he had previously sustained. As the trial came to an end, Boogie B was sentenced to 20 years for his part in the murder, with 2 of his co
It was all caught on camera. He got 20 years.
defendants, allegedly from ZT, who also delivered blows, being sentenced to 20 years too. And a 4th, who allegedly was from ZT, who was in the pack of attackers but did not actually stab Dots, was also sentenced to 11 years. A shrine would later be erected on the Peckwater estate in honor of Lewis Blackman. And other OFB members have since shouted out Boogie B a number of times in their songs, including lyrics in Heady One's blockbuster collaboration with Drake, the Only You freestyle, where Heady One raps that he still gets jail calls from Boogie B, and saying how his 20-year sentence had moved him. As you're probably wondering now, what does this unfortunate event have to
He got 20 years? Oh, man. North Middlesex Hospital. It was caught on camera, yeah. He got 20 years? I ain't gonna lie. Y'all might call me tripping. 20 years? I know it's on camera and then y'all went to. It being on camera is always gonna hurt you, bro. But 20 years? I'm surprised they couldn't kind of get out of that. I'm gonna be honest. Especially if you got robbed first. Like, it's queer motive to kill him, but I feel like you could have brought that down to, like, even, like, murder too, or, like, um, yeah, that's like 20 years. I guess because they came back in a cheery mood, but it's like, I'm shocked. I ain't gonna lie, I'm shocked he got 20. I think if he had a better lawyer, I think he wouldn't have got 20. But that's kind of with everything, though. If you got money, your lawyer's gonna do the best. I'm honestly shocked he couldn't. Yeah, that don't really like. I don't know if the story's right. Like, basically, the dude got robbed, and he was like, "Oh," but you could argue the events would have never took place if they didn't already plan to crash the party. Cause my thinking is like this. I don't know all the UK laws. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know all the US laws, but my thinking is the same way as this. When, like, if you do a bank robbery, right, and someone ends up dying, even if you're not the shooter, because of your actions of bank robbing, is murder. Even if it was your partner that did it, everyone gets charged for murder because you killed somebody. It's no longer a bank robbery anymore, even though that wasn't the intent, because somebody losing their life would have never took place if you never robbed the establishment. Even if someone died and had a heart attack, that's murder on you. So this one, I'm kind of like, I'm shocked that all the events, the root of it is because bro went there with bats and all this other stuff, and then they're one that incited it. So I'm surprised there's not an argument for like to get 20. I was like, I think it being caught on camera really got bro. Cause I feel like if it wasn't on camera, I feel like he wouldn't got 20 years when it's basically confirmed you did get robbed. Like, and that would have never took place if bro didn't rob you. And I know you tried to do the blacking out, but you came back. But it's the same night. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he went home and planned it. Like you still in the course of the same night. Like, yeah, that's kind of interesting to me that he got 20 years. Honestly speaking, I think they may have been like to make an example out of him because it was on camera. But I think if he had a better lawyer, he probably could have got. I can see 10. I promise you, I can see 10 years. I can see 12, but I'm shocked at the 20. The 20 is a little shocking to me. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. What do you think, Flameser? I might be like wilding, but I think the 20 is shocking to me because of the circumstances, it all being in the same night. Because it's reasonable that you are emotional. Any 17, you could have he could have got 10 or even 15. But he probably should have took I was probably thinking a plea deal or something. I don't know though.
To do with the beef between 51st and 71st? Well, on its own, nothing. However, as we'll discuss.
Oh, you said I don't know. It sounds pretty normal over here. Okay. Like I said, I don't know the UK laws, but that one just sounds kind of like I don't know what y'all murder 1, murder 2, or like involuntary manslaughter is. That one just sounds a little off to me, just because it all happened the same night. So there's an argument that bro started it. So like none of the events would have happened if bro didn't go rob me, and I just flipped out emotionally, and I went to go get my stuff back, and then it ended up. But you jumped him though, so I mean I guess but that probably I think the camera really hurt him.
Discuss next. This night put events in motion that would result in another night of horrific revenge attacks that would leave 2 71st affiliated young men dead. With all this happening, despite the fact that Dottie lost his life at the hands of another crew completely unrelated to this beef. Since he was a prominent member of the gangs affiliated with the 51st Postcode estates, Dottie's friends will be left grieving, and his enemies will be celebrating, despite not being involved in the murder. But then, days later, on February the 20th, 2018, at around 7 PM, a large group of 51st affiliates, including Gambino, Frosty, and Stings, will be seen at a vigil for Dottie on the Peckwater estate. Then, at about 7:30, they would be seen leaving in a stolen Mercedes van, spray-painted black, and a stolen silver 3 Series BMW. Apparently, 12 to 15 people would get into that van, and 4 people would get into the BMW. The BMW was noticed by an unmarked police car as it left the area, and all 4 occupants appeared to have their faces covered. Then, at 8:14 PM, CCTV captured the BMW in the NW1 postcode. At this time, 2...
Did them niggas not follow him? wait, nah, there's no way. Nah, yeah, nigga, there's no way. Did the police just be like, ah, nigga, they don't pay me enough, brother. Nah, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. That nigga said, yep, I'm about to get off right about. Yeah, I'm out, bro. Nah, there's no way. There's no way a police said they saw a car with 4 niggas masked up. It was like, yeah, nah, I'm cool. Nah, there's no way. Nah, bro. Nah, man. Nah, bro. Listen, man. I've been, you know what I'm saying, racially profiled. Nigga, that? Come on, man. Listen, nobody's arguing that one. 4 dudes in a BMW masked up, bro. What the hell else are they doing, nigga? Was it Call of Duty cosplay? What's going on, nigga? Are they all Bane stunt double? About to go fight Batman? Nigga, what? Nah, there's no way, bro. There's no way. Nah, I'm mad. I'm mad now. There's no way. There's no way niggas in. Ah, man, hope those young men have a great time. No, listen, I am black. Nobody's arguing you pulling over 4 males with masks on. Nobody is like, ah, Comic-Con months away. Ah, nigga, that gotta be in the police syllabus, nigga. That gotta be in the handbook. A picture. If you see a suspect with a mask on, you probably should pull him over. Nigga, what? I promise you, nobody's arguing discrimination. There's no way the niggas. Nah, I'm bad, bro. Y'all, Y'all, there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. Y'all, we can't do this. We can't. They probably just about to go study, man. Those are great tutors. Bro, what? And it's February. I don't think it was snowing. Like, nigga, what is going on? Can't even see their eyes because of the mask, but you're driving. Nah, that's wild. Like, bro, what are we doing, bro? Like, nah, that police officer wanted to go home, nigga. That nigga was about to retire. He looked, he said, oh, man, they don't pay me enough, brother. That nigga said, they don't pay me enough, brother. Yeah, man, I'm trying to make it home to my family. They don't pay me enough, nigga. I'm cool, bro. And he made a business decision. I respect it. I'm sorry for what we about to get told who lost their life, RIP. But the police officer, they human just like us. Nigga. Oh, man, they got it, man. Ah. Yo, we gotta really, as a black person, this is crazy. The one time I would say it's probably fair to stereotype, I don't know, 4 young males with ski masks. We're not gonna discriminate. You gotta discriminate over a college student. That nigga probably got his university shirt on. But that one you let slide? Nah, that's crazy. Like I said, not tonight. Nah, nigga looked at him and was like, not tonight, brother. They got it, man. And like the police officer thought Batman was gonna show up, nigga. Is there a bat signal? Nah, somebody call Batman, nigga. That ain't me, brother. Nah, this is wild. I'm sorry. That's crazy. Like, we gotta really, that's actually insane. I'm sorry I spent time talking about it. That's really ridiculous. As a person that I've been racially profiled before, that's insane. Like, I'm like, damn, we look like cool young males. I'm like, 4 niggas with ski masks? This is crazy. 4 ski masks is crazy. Like, what else? Well, what are they doing? Niggas about to do a great bonfire? Like, bro, what did you think they was doing, nigga? Like, I really gotta talk to the police officer. What did he think they was gonna do? Like, talk to me, bro. Like, what did you think they was about to go do? Audition for the Pink Panther? Like, nigga, what is... What, about to fight James Bond? Like, what are we doing? I'm sorry, y'all. My fault. That really made me mad. Like, I'm mad because what the hell did he think was going to happen? What did he think they was about to do? For real, they got to interview him.
Attackers, but did not actually stab Dots, was also sentenced to 11 years. A shrine would later be erected on the Pegwater State in honour of Lewis Blackman, and other OFB members have since shouted out Boogie B a number of times in their songs, including lyrics in Heady One's blockbuster collaboration with Drake, the Only You freestyle, where Heady One raps that he still gets jail calls from Boogie B, and saying how his 20-year sentence had moved him. As you're probably wondering now, what does this unfortunate event have to do with the beef between 51st and 71st? Well, on its own, nothing. However, as we'll discuss next, this night put events in motion that would result in another night of horrific revenge attacks that would leave 2 71st-affiliated young men dead. With all this happening, despite the fact that Dotty lost his life at the hands of another crew completely unrelated to this beef. Since he was a prominent member of the gangs affiliated with the 51st Postcode estates, Dotty's friends will be left grieving, and his enemies will be celebrating, despite not being involved in the murder. But then, days later, on February the 20th, 2018...
So let me get this straight. So the 51st is, wow, I'm trying to make sure I remember everything, bro. So 71st is Chinks in them, right? Or am I tripping? No. 51st is Chinks in them. 71st is Suspect in them. Got it. 51st is Chinks in them. 71st is Suspect in them. And then 51st, oh boy, that lost his life, he got killed by a whole nother set. But they was hot. Okay. Let me play it.
Since he was a prominent member of the gangs affiliated with the 51st Postcode estates, Dotty's friends will be left grieving, and his enemies will be celebrating, despite not being involved in the murder. But then...
So the 71st people, they doing what UK drill people do. When an opposition person loses their life. So they feel some type of way. Even though it wasn't even their gang that did it.
Days
Allegedly.
later, on February the 20th, 2018, at around 7 p.m, a large group of 51st affiliates, including Gambino, Frosty, and Stings, will be seen at a vigil for Dottie on the Peckwater estate. Then, at about 7:30, they would be seen leaving in a stolen Mercedes van, spray-painted black, and a stolen silver 3 Series BMW. Apparently, 12 to 15 people would get into that van, and 4 people would get into the BMW. The BMW was noticed by an unmarked police car as it left the area, and all 4 occupants appeared to have their faces covered. Then, at 8:14 p.m, CCTV captured the BMW in the NW1 postcode. At this time, 2 men would jump out of the car armed with knives, chasing and another man along Aldenham Street. And when they caught up, stabbed in the middle of his back as he tried to hide behind some garbage bins. The 2 attackers would apparently return to the car with a large knife that appeared to be wet with blood. It would require treatment in hospital, but luckily survived the attack. But this gang wasn't done hunting, and soon after, another, more unfortunate attack would occur. 15 minutes later, at around 8:30, CCTV would capture the BMW in the NW5 postcode. The car was following 16-year-old Abdi Karim Hassan, a youth better known on the street as AK, walking on Bartholomew Road. Moments later, he was attacked and stabbed too. He was stabbed in his chest and back, and unfortunately he would die at the scene. While he lay on the ground, the stolen Mercedes van was seen driving past. Now, this murder took place just meters away from the vigil for Dottie, and at this point, one of the attackers was dropped off near his Hackney home. Around 45 minutes later, at 9:15, the Mercedes van was then spotted in the E8 postcode in Hackney. It's believed that these 2 vehicles drove to Hackney and Tottenham in the hopes that they would find the people or gangs directly responsible for the death of Dottie, as they knew Dottie's killers identified as members from OFB or the original Farm Boys from Tottenham and ZT or Zero Tolerance from Hackney. At one point, a group of 7 men armed with knives and machetes jumped out of the van and ran towards a group of men that they spotted in Pembury Circus. They would catch up to one man in that group, punching and kicking him, but were disturbed, perhaps by a witness, before being able to inflict any more harm and ultimately return to their van. Not satisfied with this non-fatal attack, next, the van filled with gang members would travel back towards the Camden area. The Mercedes van would next be seen in the Belsize Park or Chalk Farm area. Just before 10 p.m, that van would then stop on North Road Islington, territory of the 71st affiliated crew NRB or North Road Bandits. 4 masked men would jump out of the Mercedes van and run after 2 young men, one of them being 20-year-old Sadiq Mohammed, also known as S45, and another man. That second man would successfully escape and hide from the attackers in a nearby shop. However, S45 would be less lucky. He would seek refuge in the backseat of a passing car on Malden Road and reportedly pleaded for the driver to take him to safety, shouting, "Go, go, go, drive, drive." But the female driver, assuming that she was being robbed, would get out of the car and flee. The 4 men would converge on the car, and despite S45's best efforts to keep the doors closed, he would be dragged out of the vehicle. He was thrown to the ground and repeatedly stabbed, and unfortunately, he would later die from his injuries at the scene.
This is all 15 minutes later? Nah, that's crazy.
Following this second murder in a matter of hours, once again the van was seen driving past the victim with the rear doors open. This killing took place less than a mile from the murder of AK. S45 was now the 3rd member of his family to have been killed in a knife crime attack, as he was Mitch's.
Jesus, Lefty, Mitch, and now S45. 6 months before Mitch Muhammad's brother Muhammad, I don't know how much 20 was also murdered while cousin Muhammad 20 was also subject. Damn, 15 and 40 minutes?
His brother and Lefty's cousin. According to the Mirror, AK's mother recognized his jacket from the police cordon, tried to call her son, and soon realized he was the victim at the scene. And the authorities would identify that this group of gang members had carried out 4 incidents of violence in a span of just 2 hours, with the news describing the tragic outcome of 2 men being left dead within just hours of each other. At this point, a Section 60 notice was also put in place after the incident, which
is a power given by an inspector above which allows police officers to stop and search anyone in specific area without needing to have reasonable grounds. Listen, respectfully, bro, the cop, I'm American. I'm pretty sure UK cops could come up with something to stop a car with 4 niggas masked up. Or even just tell them. That, you know, this was all being in the same night, though, is crazy. So I'm a little confused because I remember, first off, that's insane. I'm gonna be honest, but they went out for everybody, though. They was like, I remember y'all was talking mess about old boy dying. Y'all thought it was funny. Ha ha, you laugh. Oh, you think it's funny, huh? Let me show you something. And then they went to, because I was like, dang, they're not even gonna go find the people that did it. In my head, I'm like, dang, they're not even gonna go after the people that did it. And they was like, nope, we going after all the above. Damn. So, damn, 51st, they was dead ass serious. They was not playing. They was, sheesh. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's so sick. Like, everybody's somebody, man. Everybody's somebody's baby. Somebody's homie, man. Somebody's close dog. Like, somebody in their life, they touch somebody, man. They got deep connections to people. You know what I'm saying? So you take that life from them, people gonna feel some type of way. Like, hey, bro, come on, bro. What was that? and not even emotionally, and then it's like a standard, because then you making fun of bro. Now what we look like? Oh, y'all think it's sweet? Y'all gonna make fun of somebody we loved, and now they just gonna do what they do. Okay, you think it's sweet? Okay, everybody think it's sweet, huh? Everybody think it's funny. Oh, it's ha ha funny with me, huh? So it's really sad, man. This is all in the same night. It's crazy. Is this what? Where is Absav? Because I remember Absav was like, we got three. He's allegedly three. He's like three people in one day or one night, or 3 in 3 months or something. He said something crazy like that, and I was like, what?
Which, much like
Allegedly,
so-called stop and frisk
allegedly.
policies in the US, hand police greater powers to search anybody they want beyond probable cause in the aftermath of a serious incident like this. This evening was described later by the judge as an orgy of street violence. And after all of this played out at
Pause. That's a crazy way to say that. That was a crazy. You could have went on a. You could have said, yeah, a street violence spree, a violent street spree, a spree of violence, an orgy of street. That pause, freak boy. Absav is West London, totally different area with different people. Okay. Appreciate it. An orgy. That pause. That was a yo. You little freaky, bro. Yeah, you wildin'. You didn't have to say it. Like, orgy. That's nasty word. Come on, pause.
around 10:20 p.m., that van was driven and parked at the home address of the mother of Ben Drummond, better known as Frosty, from the Peckwater gang. At 7:30 a.m. the next morning, that van was set alight after 2 men had been seen approaching the vehicles with petrol cans. There was then telephone contact between Frosty and others who were accused of participating, including Stings, with the last of this contact being around 11 p.m. Frosty would reportedly also attempt to contact Stings on the morning of the 21st of February. However, Frosty would later claim that these calls were related to drug dealing rather than the violent events of the previous evening, and it was later revealed
They parked the van at this nigga mama's house. That's insane. I ain't gonna. There's multiple sick people out here. Yeah. They parked the car at this nigga's mama's house. What was the point of getting a stolen car? Wait, I'm like, this is me genuinely shocked. Like, nigga, wouldn't you park the car somewhere far? Wait, you took the car back? Like, what was the point of stealing the car? You gonna bring the car back to your mama's house, nigga? Come on, man. Like, that's just not smart, bro. Like, I'm not here to like say people should have got away with it, but like, nigga, what? What? You parked the car at your like y'all supposed to. If you gonna set it aflame, you set it aflame in like an abandoned parking lot. Bro, the mafia did that in the 80s, 70s. When the cameras weren't as good, y'all niggas brought the car back to. Didn't dump it at an empty park. Nah, that's crazy. And then did they burn it in front of the mama's house? Nah, that's crazy. Nah, there's no way.
stop and frisk policies in the US, hand police greater powers to search anybody they want beyond probable cause in the aftermath of a serious incident like this. This evening was described later by the judge as an orgy of street violence. And after all of this played out at around 10:20 p.m., that van was driven and parked at the home address of the mother of Ben Drummond, better known as Frosty, from the Peckwater gang. At 7:30 a.m. the next morning, that van was set alight after 2 men had been seen approaching the vehicles with petrol cans. There was then telephone contact between
Nigga, nigga, is it still? Nah, did they burn it in front of the mom's house? No, if they burned it in front of mom's house, that's crazy.
Frosty and others who were accused of participating, including Stings, with the last of this contact being around 11 p.m. Frosty would reportedly also attempt to contact Stings on the morning of the 21st of February. However, Frosty would later claim that these calls were related to drug dealing rather than the violent events of the previous evening. And it was later revealed that Stings knew both AK and S45, as he attended his first secondary school, William Ellis, with AK, and his second secondary school, Haverstock, with S45. After the Camden community
Oh, so one of the niggas said he didn't participate. Also, he knew that. So this dude who's on trial for it, he knew them.
7:30 a.m. the next morning, that van was set alight after 2 men had been seen approaching the vehicles with petrol cans. There was then telephone contact between Frosty and others who were accused of participating, including Stings, with the last of this contact being around 11 p.m. Frosty would reportedly also attempt to contact Stings on the morning of the 21st of February. However, Frosty would later claim that these calls were related to drug dealing rather than the violent events of the previous
And we ain't kidding. We just put that crack in our crack. Got it. Pause.
evening, and it was later revealed that Stings knew both AK and S45, as he attended his first secondary school, William Ellis, with AK, and his second secondary school, Haverstock, with S45. After the Camden community had been rocked by this horrific wave of violence, the area was described by the local news as being in a state of shock. Police will be seen combing through multiple crime scenes for evidence following the murders, with a forensic tent and cordon seen near the murder location of AK near Bartholomew Road that night, with officers continuing to investigate into the morning, and cops would shut down the road where S45 lost his life after attempting to seek refuge in a car, and making a public appeal to any motorists who might have been driving here the night before to come forward with any information. Mitch and S45's mother would be interviewed by the BBC following the incident, in an emotional segment grieving the loss of 2 sons in a matter of months and begging the youth in Camden to put down their knives.
5 months and lost 2 sons. Astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah.
Bro, that pain, bro, is
I
crazy,
beg you,
bro.
people go to knife children, say stop, please. Please and please.
Following these tragic incidents reaching the news, the Camden Council leader, representing Holborn and St Pancras areas, which includes the area of Camden where all this happened, Keir Starmer MP, would release a joint statement. The day after the murder, on Wednesday the 21st of February 2018, a public meeting was held at the Queen's Crescent Community Centre, just 500 metres from the scene of S45's death, where Keir Starmer and the Camden Council leader were in attendance, being told of parents in the community fearing for their children's safety. And the uncle of S45 would tell the police that they all know about these attacks before they're going to happen on social media, so why don't the police do anything about it? A little
It's kind of sad to see this. We're gonna take a pause here because I do have to leave. It's sad to see this because, especially when she was like, put the knives down, right? It's crazy because the U.S. it's put the guns down, and the whole thing is like gun control, and I don't really know the full answer to it myself, but even in the UK, without the guns, people still die. And innocent children. And in my opinion, the problem is the disparity of wealth gap. Because the people that are the poorest, well, they might be struggling to eat, clean water, right? To live okay. Not lavish, but okay, to have the necessities to do the regular stuff and not eat terribly, right? If the wealth gap wasn't so large to where someone's in the trenches, rather in the US or UK, the violence and stuff is like, why? I mean, why would we do that? I mean, my mom has clean water, we get clothes, like I go to school, like we don't have to worry about bills or pay or anything like that. Like, but if you in the poverty, would you like, well, man, it don't look too good, and why go to school? My mom can't even pay for bills. I might as well go do this. I might as well do this. I might as well do that. So the problem is the wealth gap that could easily. I'm gonna say this for the U.S. I don't know too much about the U.K. The U.S. the wealth gap increased rapidly when I believe in the 80s where we lost a lot of jobs, and the wealth gap was never corrected. I don't know what the UK is like. I'm pretty sure there's a wealth gap that is like, yo, to where the common person can get a good job and still live okay. Not even saying he got to go to college. Like he can have a solid paying job, have at least a home, like a solid home. And you're not doing crazy stuff. And you're not struggling just to get by, just to eat groceries, and you might have to eat a Wish sandwich. I wish I had me some meat to go on the sandwich. You know what I'm saying? To eat the quote unquote struggle meals of I'm eating ramen and I'm eating sardines and I'm eating spam and like, well, I gotta eat, some people eat expired goods, canned goods only because that's what they gotta do just to make it by. If that's corrected, then if you're only the funny part is we could use it like sports. Like Valencia said, violence begets crime and things. Probably the crazy thing about this is if anybody's ever played sports, a coach has said this to you. You're only as good as your weakest link. So if the society's lowest part is that bad, why can't y'all pick him up a little bit and just be like, all right, well, we won't make as much money, so how about this? We'll Make y'all jobs at least good so everybody can be okay. To where you're still able to live a solid life. I'm not saying you gotta live lavish, but yo, you gotta not struggling to make ends meet. You can have a solid paying job. And home, your kids go to work. It's like, yeah, no, we got it. Maybe what once a month you could have steak. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, you know, we gotta eat ramen, witch sandwich, ice sandwich, you know what I'm saying, bread. Like I just had a bread sandwich. What's a bread sandwich? Nothing but bread, brother. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even have cold water. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have hot water. So I had to just boil the water on the stove and take it. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of stuff is like, bro, no, nobody wanna. It's like, why did they? So the violence is always gonna be violence, man. I'm gonna end it right here because I do gotta go, man. But it's just sad. It's your boy Chosen. Like, subscribe, like it up, like it up, like it up, like it up for your boy, man. So y'all can get part 3. We moving with the documentary. Um, yeah, man. Shout out Flames for being here with me, man. It's really a sad situation. But yeah, it's your boy Chosen. Like, subscribe, like it up for to get part 3. Like it up for your boy, please. I appreciate the love y'all show me, and we gonna continue this documentary, man. It's your boy Chosen. I'm out.